So last week we were talking about card games, and I briefly mentioned that Marvel Snap looked like Teppen. At which point I was told, "No, no, Pat, you are stupid. Marvel Snap is nothing like Teppen." So I downloaded it to see what it actually was. It is in fact nothing like Teppen. It is actually literally Gwent.
Okay.
It is you put the cards on the opposite sides and then the number goes up and the number that win is the better number.
Does timing matter at all?
Fuck no. You
Okay.
have like a minute and a half to play your turns.
Then that is not Teppen. Yeah.
No, it's not Teppen. In fact, I would go as far to say that it is anti-Teppen. It is the opposite Teppen. It is the mirror Teppen. It is the inverted Teppen. Teppen, a game that when I was playing it was like, oh man, I love Mega Man. Oh, I love Jill Valentine. I don't like this. On the flip side, oh, cool. Multiple man. Who the
Right.
about
Right.
multiple man?
Now the gameplay is what
Who
you're
the
here for.
Angela? Who the Marvel character Angela? I don't know, but she's in my deck because that card's really good.
So now
Like,
the gameplay is fun and the characters are who gives it.
yeah. So the game is great, and it has a lot of things about it that I absolutely adore. Like by far the most of any of the card games that you and I have played. But like I'm sitting there and my wife Paige looks over at me and she goes, "You're playing a Marvel game?" And I'm like,
Angela
"Yeah."
from Spawn? Wait, what? I'm sorry. The Spawn character is a Marvel character now? Oh shit, I know who that is. Yeah. Yeah, that's she's got the wings and the big old pouches and the full on,
Yeah, she looks cringe.
it's everything from the Spawn supporting cast designs. They as action figures with some extra paint on them, they look pretty cool though.
Um so the number one thing that draws me to Marvel Snap is that decks are 12 cards, no duplicates. It is like, do you have Blade in your deck? You have one Blade.
Hmm.
Blade costs one. He's 3 powered. He discards somebody. So this has led to a situation in which Pat, the deck building anti-savant, let's just say, has been able to go, I want to make a discard deck. Okay, I will grab Blade. I will grab Angela. I'll grab Mr. Sinister. I'll grab Apocalypse, etc. And I made myself a half decent discard deck that actually totally worked and I was able to play real games with. Something I have never been able to do in any card game.
You made your own deck.
Yeah. I've made a bunch of my own decks and they work. It
12
also
cards
has
is not a lot. That's actually seems like a pretty small, like,
it's super small. The
thing to work
matches
around,
are
yeah.
like if you and the person you're playing with are like making moves and you take like 2-3 seconds to figure out what you want to do. Matches are maybe 200 seconds long. They are like instantaneous. They are real fast. They're 6 turns and that's it and you're
Wow.
done. It's like
Okay.
haha snap. But it is in fact actually a snap. It is super super fast. It is like when I'm making my coffee in the morning, I play a game of Marvel Snap while the coffee is pouring into my cup.
Okay. Is Snap a reference to Thanos?
Yes, but it's also the game's most interesting mechanic, which I will get to at the end. The other thing is that as you level up your cards, they don't get stronger. They just get nicer. So as you earn your currencies and whatnot, you go from a regular white bordered card, let's say Nightcrawler, to the first upgrade is a green rarity card in which Nightcrawler expands, the character in the center expands past the frame. right?
Mm.
Then the next one is that it's got that 3D effect that card games on your phone will have, where you can kind of look behind it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, they get a shiny logo. After that, the card is holographic, and so on
Yada
and so
yada.
forth.
Yeah. Okay.
And upgrading the look of your card is your method of progression. And that's the weirdest thing. The way that it works is there are 5 pools of cards. Pool number 1 and 2, as you go through the game's like progression, give you every single card in the first 2 pools, which is like 350 cards. So like there is a baseline of like 70% of the game's cards are like mandatory before
Yeah.
you go into real matchmaking.
Like the basic sets, right?
Yeah. After that, you get pool 3, which is smaller, I think. I'm not sure. But then pools 4 and 5 are, listen, you can get these cards out of your season pass, or you can get them on a 1% drop rate out of the pack that you earned. And so it's this, like, you have most of the game's cards by far, like, automatically. But then when you're opening up your digital card pack, you're fishing for Storm. So let's say.
So card system design elements aside, what's fun about the actual like playboard?
The playboard is okay. So the one thing that is similar to Teppen is that you have the 3 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And each lane is a tiny game of Gwent, in which you're placing down high value cards to have a higher value than the other person in that lane. And they have all the on reveal or ongoing effects that you would expect from, say, Magic or Runeterra or something. So Nightcrawler, throw him down, he's weak, but you can move him to a different lane if you like. Hulk is a 12 power card, which is really crazy. But Onslaught makes anybody in his lane play their effects twice. You know, stuff like that. Like, basically, you're playing 3 very small games of Runeterra or Gwent. And the whole thing lasts, like, literally 2 minutes long. It is fast, it's snappy, it's easy to understand. And the final mechanic, the reason why it's called Marvel Snap, is at the top of the screen, you have the ranking points. So turns 1 to 5, if you win, you get 1 ranking point. If it goes all the way to the 6th turn, it doubles to become 2. If the opponent retreats, and this is what brought this up, because last week we talked about forfeiting, right? So Marvel Snap, if you retreat on the 6th turn, or before that, you end up losing less, right? You go, your turn 5, and you're like, oh, I'm definitely going to lose. I might as well run now so that I only get docked 1 point instead of 2. That doubles on.
It encourages the early forfeit if you want to.
But on top of that, if you are positive you're going to win, or you feel good about it, you can tap it, and it will double the ranking points right away. And if the other opponent doubles it as well, it will double it again. So you end up in situations where it's a wide range of, I'm going to leave right now, I'm going to lose this game for sure. I'm 3 turns in, I haven't been able to play 1 card.
Poker. I'm out, I'm in, I raise, I call, all in. Yeah.
Or I'm dead certain I'm going to win, but so are they. And now instead you're swinging 8 rank points, which is definitely enough to drop me out of silver right now, for example.
Okay.
And it causes situations where I tap it, and that causes it to double, and then they leave. Which, even if they retreated, because I tapped it, I still get double the points. And this is only for ranking, but it actually gives like a concerted, real incentive to, I would like to leave, I'm going to lose, I'm not going to waste everyone's time, versus I'm sure I can clutch this out in the 6th turn. So rage quitting doesn't exist, it's people quitting.
It's part of the mechanics.
It's forfeiting.
It's
as part of the
actually
rules.
it's part of the rules. Yeah, that's interesting. Does when you play two cards and they face each other and one wins, does the winning card stay on the field?
Yeah.
Or okay, and then you have to come in and challenge that and work
Yeah.
it down. Okay. So
So a really good example of this is Lizard, yeah, from Spider-Man. Lizard is costs 2, which is really cheap, but he's worth 5 power, which is really strong, unless there are 4 cards up opposite of him. So if you throw Lizard down and he's the only guy versus like Ant-Man or some shit, he's gonna do great. But if your opponent floods their side of the thing with cheap cards, all of a sudden your Lizard is garbage.
Okay. I can see this being a fun thing for you specifically, seeing as the decks have so few cards in them. Because, like, Teppen has 30 card decks, Hearthstone has 30 card decks, right? And, like, when you have that type
Yu
of.
has 40 to 60, I learned over the
I don't
past
know what.
week.
I don't know what Magic does, but I assume it's significant, right? The stack, you see a pile on the table. So it feels like when you have that many, the synergies can become really, really multi-layered in depth, right? You can fucking go down like 5 layers of, I guess, option selects, I'll call them, where you're like, I'm going to put this out, and depending on which one of these supplemental things pop up, I'll be able to create a different, like, power, play. With the 12, it's probably really basic synergies that are like simple, easy, and like helpful to just kind of like that and that, bam, let's go. And then and you don't have to probably go too far into like the third or fourth layer of it, because by that point the game is over.
You only have 6 turns.
Right. Yeah, that's it, right? Whereas like Teppen, when you're making plays that are based on, if I get to under 10 health, I have a whole other set of cards ready for low life play that I can start using, and that's a separate thing to consider.
So there is another level of synergy or meta or whatever you want to call it that's in play that I did not mention, that factors into your deck building, and that is each lane of the 3 lanes has a unique effect. You see the effect of the leftmost lane on turn 1, the second one, the middle one on turn 2, and the third one on turn 3.
Ah, okay.
And these run a wide gamut of effects. One is any card you play on this spot will die.
For both players?
We'll just, yeah,
it's
just
neutral.
die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So you end up in a situation of like, well, I hope you played a card there before the effect popped, or I hope you have a card you can move there instead of playing it on top of it.
Oh, it's
right?
not.
So,
it's not at the same time as the reveal. The effect comes in later.
The effect. So some effects happen on the reveal. Some effects happen permanently. Okay. So, like, if you, for example, have a thing, any card you play on this spot dies. Any card that's there before you can see what it does will get to stay. It's just cards that are then played onto that effect will die. You have ones where every turn that a card lives here, it will gain 1 power. You have one in which if you have no cards on this spot, you get extra mana per turn.
So there's a little bit of randomness to it. Are you shuffling through your hand of 12 and picking out your plays, or are you getting?
You're starting with 3 cards from your deck.
Yeah.
And then on turn 1 through 6, you get 1 extra card. So you will get 3 plus 6. You'll get 9 of your 12 cards by the end of the game.
Okay, you don't actually have a full draw. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Which makes there's a card called a character, I think she was in the Doctor Strange movie, called America Chavez.
Yeah, America Chavez, yeah.
She is an okay strong card, but its ability is it always comes in on turn 6. It can't come in on any turn other than 6. Okay. And its strength is that it turns a 12 card deck into an 11 card deck for the first 5 turns.
Okay.
Which means you're almost guaranteed to get all the other stuff that you want.
That's interesting. I'm glad this has its own, uniqueness to it. Um, the most unique thing being, again, that 12 hand. Because yeah, all the other
It's
things I've
so
touched
small.
have been way more in depth.
It's so small. And the other thing is that they sell variants. So there are I have seen I have seen 3 different Nightcrawlers. There's the one that starts the game, which is a pretty standard Marvel art style. There's one that looks like, I'm not familiar with artists, but there's one that's like Kingdom Come looking thing. I know that's a DC property, but like a
Alex
very,
Ross.
very like realistic Alex Ross kind of looking
Yeah.
Nightcrawler. And then there's one that looks like it's from the Genesis game.
Okay.
And
Sweats.
one of the ways that they incentivize you using those variants, which you buy on the store, is that the variants level up separately from the other cards. So if I have like a purple Nightcrawler right now, if I got the pixel variant of Nightcrawler, I could start ranking that thing up by itself and get further faster.
But it's all aesthetic.
Yeah, it's all static.
Yeah. Okay.
Every single there is no change to how a card works ever. It is all aesthetic, and there's a lot of aesthetic to it, which is nice.
So then, where is the acquisition of new cards? Play?
So, as you collect cards and as you upgrade cards aesthetic, you raise up what's called a collection level. I don't have the numbers correct off the top of my head, but like the first 280 levels will get you like all the cards in Pool 1. And then getting all the cards in Pool 3, I think, is you get up to level 480 something, right? After that, guaranteed cards leave, and instead, essentially, a card pack is what you would unlock instead.
Okay.
And the card packs have currency, or the other currency, or a variant for your cards, like a visual variant, or a new card from one of the higher tiers. I have not gotten there yet, but I have been informed that Marvel Snap is incredible right up until you hit level 480, whatever it is. Because what happens is once you have every guaranteed card in the game, it goes okay and throws you into matchmaking with everybody that has all the guaranteed cards and then some. And the rarer cards that you get from that progression of the season pass are much stronger than the guaranteed ones. So you're playing and going like, boy, I hope I get the good Cyclops card or the good Storm card to build around.
And it kind of goes from like a CCG to like a TCG, right?
Yeah, so a really good example. Right now, the season pass is Savage Land. And there's a fucking... Oh, God, somebody in the chat help me. There's a cat that's the card you get out of the season. It's Kazu, whatever the fuck it is. Zabu. Do you know who fucking Zabu the cat from the Savage Land is? I don't know.
I can't say I do.
But Zabu is a 4-cost card that takes other 4-cost cards and removes 2 cost from them. So it takes all the other 4-cost cards and turns them into 2-cost cards. Which means if you play it, you get to like flood your fucking like 5th and 6th turn with tons of cheap, super fucking powerful cards. That's a really good card. That you can only get right now if you buy the season pass. And the way that they do it is that there's cards that live in the season pass, and then after a month or 2, they get kicked down to just being highly, highly rare.
Do you have to pick a deck color or like character to
No.
or is it just like anything goes?
No.
Okay.
Anything you can fucking do anything.
Okay.
Absolutely, just whatever the fuck. And as for the season pass, because it is so like being able to play this game long term is absolutely highly tied into getting that shit out of the season pass. It's very clear. That is $14 a month every month. So that is a subscription. However,
Can you
to
pay
be
for it with progress?
what's that?
Can you pay for it with progress?
No.
Oh, okay.
The season pass is a battle pass.
Because yeah, well, Teppen
Level
has
1 is you get the card, and levels 29 through 2 through 50 are all the other variants, currencies, bonuses, etc.
okay. The Teppen Battle Pass is you can buy with in-game currency.
No,
But
the way this one works is you earn points towards it no matter what you're doing. It's just you get the paid stuff if
Yeah.
you paid for it. You get the free stuff if you
right.
don't.
Yeah, the 2 lanes. Right. Okay.
Um, I will say, for considering how like mandatory, like getting like I'm probably gonna get at least this season just because that stupid cat. I'll talk about this later. It's a good card and I'm enjoying myself. I've been playing for 4 days. I'm 31 out of 50.
Hmm.
Like they
That's
have the
fast.
they do the weekly thing
Yeah.
when the weekly challenges are a huge proportion of XP. Yeah, I'm gonna have no problem hitting 50. Absolutely not. I actually really like I would say love this game, and I'm building my own decks and I'm having a great time. And I understand the way it's monetized, and I can be okay with that. There's only one problem for me, and it's a big problem. The big fancy card that I'm supposed to be excited to get as part of the Savage Land, I'm sitting here going, it's some fucking cat named Zahu. I don't, fucking,
Right.
who gives a fucking shit?
Yeah.
Like, I am literally, I'm dead serious. I am literally sitting here playing like 400 matches of this card game, pretending I'm just using the Marvel characters of a Marvel versus Capcom game.
I mean, I would assume the big Savage Land reveal would be Sauron, but
Yeah, he's in there.
yeah. Um,
He's in there
so
somewhere.
so something to note too, I guess, is like when it comes to the ranking system, is it doing like an initial letter grading system and then into a true ranking, or do you know how that's kind of like
No, it is
handled?
a number.
Okay, from day one, you are a
Yeah, it
number.
is a number.
Okay.
It is like bronze is like 0 to 40, silver is 40 to 80, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Because I would say like you're especially if at the pace you're going, like hit that like top point and then see how the game changes, right? Once you are once you start like again hitting these other levels and basically getting dropped into different pools of players, these games can change, you know?
Oh yeah.
Teppen certainly does. So and like it can get better and or worse, you know, where you're in like you said, if you get to the point where you're at 400 whatever, and like you're not rocking the same options that they have at that point, that's not fun. But
Like I've seen some of the higher tier cards that I will not have access to unless I get lucky. They're good.
mm,
They're like build an entire deck around this card good. And so
yeah,
then you run into the thing of like I wanted some tips on how to build a deck, and you run into decks for pool 1, decks for pool 2, decks for pool 3, and after that is you want the Wong deck, you want the Storm deck, you want the Abomination deck, and so on and so forth.
okay.
So where the fuck is Sauron in this piece of shit?
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, there's got to be like this thing is catching on, and you know, people are addicted to it the way I'm hearing about
Oh,
it. The
he's not
way
in here. Oh, weird.
I'm hearing about Marvel Snap the way I heard people talking about Hearthstone when it first came out. You know, it's
I want to say there's a reason for that. Like a highly specific reason. Ben Brode? Ben Brode. I believe it's made by Hearthstone Man.
Same designer. Is that really the case? Yeah. Then there you go.
Previously, he used to be the game director for Hearthstone.
That explains that.
So it's. I mean, So Hearthstone was a PC game that hit the phone. This is a fucking phone game. This is so much a phone game that on Steam, it's in early access.
Mm.
And I was like, what the hell does that mean? It means when you load it up on Steam, it just runs a phone emulator and gives you a
drag
phone,
your mouse around.
a vertical screen, and tells you, hey man, the inbox and the season pass interface don't work on Steam. I know it's just the inbox, but the inbox just does not. So if you want to get things like there's the Lunar New Year thing happening, if you want to go get your rewards from the Lunar New Year, load it up on your phone.
Yeah. Also, you got to have your crossplay thing going. You're not going to have.
I believe it is supposed to be like a Runeterra or Hearthstone or Gwent, like fully featured, like completely unique interface kind of thing at some point.
If you've got a giant fucking roster of, if you've got an IP with a lot of beloved characters, and like, making a fucking really addictive card game is a current way to monetize that shit and do well. There's a lot of things you can do with it, but yeah, just pointing at Hearthstone and saying, hey, do one of that for us, that's cash. And
it does have a lot of gimmicks that are, I'm going to assume, appreciated for people that care, but like 9 out of 10s, I'm like, why does this person do this? So do you know a fucking bald loser called Vatu the Watcher?
Yes, that's the Watcher.
Okay, I don't know who the fuck that is. But what I do know is that when I put him in my deck, I can see what all the lanes are going to do right away.
That makes perfect sense. That should be his ability. Uatu is basically the big-headed dude that he's among the race of the Watchers, and all the What If comics are like him peering into alternate realities and going, like, oh, but what if we could look over here and see this version of events?
It's like, I don't know anything about Namor other than he's not Aquaman.
Yes.
And that he wants to fuck Sue Richards.
And he did.
But I do know that if he's the only guy on the lane, he's extra strong. Yeah, I assume he's a loner.
Yeah, and he's a dick. He's a huge dick.
Okay. I really extra don't know who Devil Dinosaur is. Do you know who the Devil Dinosaur is?
I can't say I know about Devil Dinosaur now.
But I do know that he has +2 power for every card I kept in my hand. He's probably the best card I have right now. And I'm looking at this red T-Rex going, I don't know what the fuck is up with this. Like, I'm torn, man. I'm fucking torn.
There's some good
ones.
I
get... This is reverse Arcane. Arcane had people going, oh man, who's these League of Legends characters? I'm looking at Devil Dinosaur going, I double never want to read a comic book ever again.
But they're doing pulls like that specifically for the people who are gonna freak the fuck out and pop off when they see that shit. Like, sure, It could have been the entire cast of Phase 1 of the MCU, and then, like, the cast of the X-Men. But, like, yeah.
Somebody just mentioned in the chat that Daredevil lets you see the other people play their cards.
Awesome.
While they're playing them.
Yeah.
That's...
But again, remember the energy when I come and I go, who the fuck is this random background Resident Evil character? And it's just like,
I wish I had that with this.
I'm like, who the fuck is this? I don't know.
It makes me super pissed off. Can somebody make the longest, most illegal mod ever and just replace every single asset in Marvel Snap with all the assets in Teppen, please?
I mean, it's crazy. They've reached into like all the robot monsters. We've got fucking the X Hunters from X2. We've got just your Breath of Fire references. They've cut deep into the Capcom roster, but there's always like 8 random fucking humans with holding guns just showing up like, and then it's that guy.
Was that Forest Fire? Is he weak to dogs or crows? Wow. I get it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, good game. You might want to give it a shot. It's fun. I am super mad that they picked the wrong half of Marvel vs. Capcom to make this Marvel game with. That's how I feel.
I mean, it's also the thing that's gotten them a ton of money, and you know, people that are just Marvel fans looking for an excuse to jump in and can collect the rare shit.
Okay, well, that's pretty funny. Somebody just sent me a photo of Uncle Ben, the card, which is a 1-power card, which, if destroyed, puts Spider-Man into your hand.
Nice.
Which, okay, yeah. See,
that's good.
If I got all of these fucking references, I'd be like, oh, cool. But instead,
no, you want Billy Cohen.
I do want Billy Cohen
and Brad Vickers.
Does Brad Vickers have a fucking ability in Teppen in which you get to remove him, or he dies? I bet he does.
Nope, just deal 2 damage to a random enemy unit, then explore for ammo.
Really?
That's his deal. That's his deal.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, pick of the litter though, because there's Enrico Marini, and
yeah, what about Enrico?
Fucking who the fuck? What are we doing here? I don't know.
What's Enrico do?
Marvin Branagh.
Yeah, Marvin. You know Marvin?
Yeah. Okay, that's his last name, huh?
Yeah, Branagh.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So I will say there is actually one in regards to this. There's one really big problem with the game that I'm kind of shocked they didn't do. When you go into the card, like the deck builder or the card reader, and you click on a character, it doesn't even tell you where they're from. It in fact has no information about them at all other than their name.
Okay.
Like, that's a little strange. Like,
yeah.
Like, if I didn't know Cyclops was an X-Man and clicked on Cyclops, I would not know he is an X-Man.
No, the lore bits are like pretty good, like things that should be in there. I really liked them in RuneScape. Not RuneScape, Runeterra. When you click on it and you get that full little paragraph with the art and shit. Like, yeah, do that to introduce it.
Yeah, so I'm going to grab some random fucking loser.
I can't find it. Like, I'm going through all these, I'm seeing, Richard Eichen and Louisa and whatever, but there was somebody here that was like, one of these characters was a girl that was like, her whole thing as a card is to just die. Yeah. She shows up and she dies, and as soon as she dies, like, everyone gets powered up. Or something like that. Like,
is that Iris?
Oh, God, I don't know.
So I'm looking at this, I picked up Moon Girl. I don't know who Moon Girl is. And on the card it says Moon Girl. On reveal, duplicate your hand. And that's it. I don't know if she's a bit character from Spawn or the star of her own series. Fucking, I don't know. I don't have a goddamn idea. It's really weird.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She hangs out with Devil Dino and they're getting a cartoon.
Excella Gion shows up and fucking and dies or whatever.
Yeah, she dies in the back half of RE5 and you fight the big goo monster.
Oh, yeah, her. Okay, I remember who that is now.
She
Right,
so
okay.
so Excella Gion is like the ultimate proof of like Albert Wesker as like asexual, because she is like pawing all over him and like just rubbing all her bullshit all over him, and he's just like, ew, gross, give me more virus juice, please.
Well, yeah, but also, she's not um, RE0 girl,
Yeah.
the little medic one.
Rebecca?
Yeah, isn't that his deal? Didn't he have her photo?
He had her high school basketball photo in his desk, but that's before he became a super freak monster man. That shit probably killed his dick.
Who knows? Anyways,
I do. I
all right.
just told you.